Hello from Basel. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to today's event setting the stage for the BIS Innovation Hub Eurosystem Centre. The Innovation Hub is an initiative of the Bank for International Settlements. Through a network of centres spread around the world, the BIS Innovation Hub serves as a platform for collaboration between central banks for the development of new technological solutions to problems in the financial sectors of today and tomorrow. It now brings together 5 centres in Hong Kong, London, Singapore, Sweden and Switzerland, and a strategic partnership with the Federal Reserve System, and will be joined soon by the Eurosystem Centre, with its 2 locations in Paris and Frankfurt, and the Toronto Centre in Canada. Today's event will preview some of the elements on which the BIS Innovation Hub's Eurosystem Centre will work in cooperation with partners, public and private, in the innovation ecosystem. For today's event, I'm joined by a panel of distinguished speakers from Basel, Paris and Frankfurt. Augustine Carstens, General Manager of the BIS, Christine Lagarde, President of the European Central Bank, Jens Weidmann, President of the Deutsche Bundesbank, François Villeroy de Gaillot, Governor of the Banque de France. We are also delighted to welcome staff from across the Eurosystem. We will start with short remarks by each panellist, and we'll then move to a discussion with staff from the national central banks of the Eurosystem and the BIS working in innovation-related topics. Let me stop here and hand it over to Augustine Carstens, General Manager of the BIS. Augustine.
Thank you very much, Jill. And let me start by welcoming you all to today's event. And let me thank Christine, Jens, and Francois for their invaluable support in establishing the Innovation Hub and their leadership in advancing work on the Eurosystem Centre. I'm very pleased to see both Jens and Francois at the installations of the centre, so that's extremely welcome. And well, I also want to thank Christine for bringing the Christmas spirit to this meeting with this wonderful Christmas tree. Let me also make a special mention of Jens, who has served as chairman of the BIS Board of Directors since November 2015 and has been a driving force behind the BIS efforts to strengthen its role in the innovation space. Our event today is designed to set the stage for the opening of the BIS Innovation Hub Eurosystem Centre next year. We will share with you the plans for the work of the centre. Expectations are very high. When it opens, the Eurosystem Centre will join a growing family of 5 Innovation Hub centres that the BIS has established around the world over the last 2 years. The hub is not a proof of concept. It's not a proof of concept. And is not a think tank. And we are producing already tangible results. I would invite you to look on the BIS website to see the products we are developing to give you, and let me give you a few examples so you can get a taste of what the hub really is about. Let me start with Project Rio in Switzerland. It's a technological platform that enables central banks to monitor fast-paced Forex markets in real time. Project Nexus in Singapore, a platform that links together national fast payment systems potentially on a global scale. Project Enbridge, Tombar, and Jura that enable the issuance and exchange of wholesale CBDC by multiple central banks on a common DLT platform to make cross-border settlements faster, cheaper, and more efficient. And Project Genesis in Hong Kong that tokenizes green bonds on a distributed ledger so that they can be issued in small denominations to retail investors and track in real time how much clean energy is being generated. I could go on, but suffice it to say that there is far more to come. We're finalizing our work program for next year. Our project portfolio will be bigger and broader in scope. The Eurosystem Centre will be a key part of our growing project portfolio and expanding geographical footprint. It will enable the hub to work on more projects in a broader range of subject areas. And it will help the hub foster collaboration with an even larger number of the BIS member central banks. I'm very, very excited by the plans for the Eurosystem Center, and I really look forward to our discussion today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for setting the stage, Augustine. Let us turn now to President Lagarde. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you, Augustine, for your kind words and for the opportunity to join you today. And I would like to associate also all BIS staff who, under the leadership of Benoit, have pushed this initiative with such success. Let me also thank Jens and Francois, my colleagues and friends who are with us supporting this initiative, and congratulate all of them who have worked tirelessly to make sure that the BIS Innovation Hub is expanded beyond the 5 existing hubs at the moment. As very nicely described in the generic that precedes this moment, cutting-edge technologies emerge by the day. New players are jumping into the fintech stage. The volume of data is increasing exponentially, as is the computing power to process it or the artificial intelligence to deal with it. Change is moving so fast. And central banks need to anticipate. They need to assess. And when useful, embrace these changes if they are to serve and protect their citizens in the best possible way, according to the mandates we have. In addition, change and innovation transcend borders. And that is why the BIS Innovation Hub, which fosters technological collaboration amongst central banks around the world, plays such a critical role. And that is why I'm delighted that the community of Euro area central banks, known as the Eurosystem, will soon play an even stronger part in this endeavor in the form of the BIS Innovation Hub Eurosystem Center, bringing together the 19 national central banks. The center will play a significant role in the exploring of areas such as green finance, cybersecurity, central bank digital currencies, and it will leverage our collective expertise and infrastructure. The individual strength of the Eurosystem's national central banks and the ECB complement each other. They make the whole greater than the sum of the individual contributions. And I'm very much looking forward to bringing the Eurosystem Center to life with you. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move to President Weidmann, who is joining us from the Frankfurt premises of the BIS Innovation Hub Eurosystem Center. It's good to get a glimpse inside this space, which we hope will be occupied in early 2022. Over to you.
Thank you very much, and good morning, dear colleagues, dear guests. Astronomy illustrates the vast distances which international collaboration can take us. Scientists have combined the signals of radio telescopes around the globe, thereby creating, in essence, a virtual telescope multiple times the diameter of the Earth. The resultant resolution would make it possible to identify a €2 coin on the moon, a level of detail which is unimaginable for a single telescope. Similarly, in the midst of the digital revolution, central banks have much to gain from working together. I'm delighted that with the establishment of the new BIS Innovation Hub Center in Paris and Frankfurt, the Eurosystem will become part of a collaborative network dedicated to developing and assessing digital innovations for the world of central banking. I'm standing here at the premises of the Bundesbank's Innovation Lab and the future BIS Innovation Hub site located in the heart of Frankfurt. This open workspace is intended not only for our staff, but also for the international central bank community to foster innovation. One important area of focus is cybersecurity. As the global financial system is being transformed by digitalization, cyber attacks are becoming a major threat to its stability. Since cyberspace is virtually borderless, international collaboration can create essential value added in terms of monitoring cyber risks, and enhancing the security and resilience of financial market architectures. Yet, digital technologies can also improve our monitoring of risks in the financial sector. Digitalization gives banking supervisors access to a plethora of data at the touch of a button. This fascinating prospect of real-time monitoring also poses the challenge of separating signals from noise, of analyzing huge quantities of data at high frequencies. Here, big data and AI can be the answer if applied appropriately using the right tools. The Bundesbank, for instance, partners with startups to develop such innovative solutions. Indeed, we are currently working on a prototype tool based on machine learning and natural language processing to analyze news data or company reports for banking supervision and risk control purposes. And that's just the beginning. I'm confident that the BIS Innovation Hub will make a key contribution to central banks' response to the challenges of digital finance. I'm very proud that the Eurosystem Center in Paris and Frankfurt will be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Weidmann. And we now turn to Paris, to the premises of the BIS Innovation Hub Eurosystem Center. Let us now hear from Governor Vieillot de Gallo. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Jill. Dear Agustin, chère Christine, lieber Jens, I'm delighted to welcome you this morning in the Paris premises of the Eurosystem Innovation Hub. It will be part, with Frankfurt, of this very successful project. And it's today almost the end of a long journey. There was the choice, then there was a cautious and precise legal preparation, but now we are ready to work. We are anxious to work together. Allow me only in 2 minutes 2 remarks. First about a possible oxymoron, and second about the program of our hub. The possible oxymoron is between innovation and stability. They can seem contradictory, and we central banks are more on the side of stability. But I think that in the long run, they are complementary, and this is our message today. Innovation without stability will lack trust and will not be sustainable. And stability without innovation would be regressive, would be probably inefficient in the long run. My second remark is about the substance, and following what Jens just said. Europe is facing at least 2 disruptions in the next decade: ecological transformation and digital transformation. And the program for our hub refers directly to these 2 transformations. First, green finance, as said also by Christine. The Paris marketplace, the Frankfurt marketplace, Europe is very buoyant in this issue. We will bring many things to the BIS Innovation Hub. And on the digital transformation, it's obviously the question of CDBC, and Banque de France has been very active in wholesale CDBC, which is important for cross-borders. By the way, Benoit, we already work with the BIS Innovation Hub with the project Jura. Can I pay tribute, Benoit, to your specific involvement today? You will remain as the founding father of this BIS Innovation Hub. But there is not only CBDC, there is also cyber, and there is RegTech and SubTech. And let me conclude with that. We face a triangle of disruptions. We have new players, many of them unregulated. We have new assets, like crypto assets or stable coins. And we have possibly new market infrastructure, decentralized. This is a challenge for us, central bank. If we want to be up to the challenge, we must find the right mix of supervision, regulation, and yes, innovation. This is what the Innovation Hub is about, and you can rely on our full commitment. Merci.
Merci, and thank you very much for your remarks, Governor Vioa de Gallo. It is wonderful to see the Paris premises as well. And now let us open the discussion. I will hand over now to Benedict Nolens, who's the head of the BIS Innovation Hub Centre in Hong Kong. And she's going to moderate a discussion with the staff of the Eurosystem and the BIS. Over to you, Benedict.
Thank you very much, Jill, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you from Hong Kong. Today's panel and all the introductory remarks we've already heard and what we will learn in the next few questions is a testament of the great cooperation that central banks are undertaking in order to be a full part of this digital and connected world. Today, we are joined by staff of the 19 European central banks, as well as by staff of the ECB and also staff of the BIS. And I will be moderating today the questions that they will be asking. To start off this moderation, I will start with asking a question to Agustin. So, Agustin, how would you say central banks can cooperate even better in the future?
Great to see you from Hong Kong. Thank you very much. I don't know if you heard me. Thank you very much, Benedict, and thank you very much for joining us from Hong Kong. Well, I mean, I think it's in the nature of central banks to collaborate. That explains really the 90 years of history of the BIS. But I think in particular in the field of innovation, as all my colleagues mentioned in their introductory remarks, innovation is one of the main challenges that central banks will face. Now, and let's face it, the innovation and what is going out there in technology is moving tremendously fast. And it is very difficult to think that each individual central bank has the ability, and even if it is convenient for them, to embark in getting up to speed, in recognizing technologies, and in moving towards solutions of problems that all the time with different nuances here and there, but by and large are similar. Therefore, it makes sense for central banks to join forces and to work towards first recognizing which technologies are important, second, to establish sort of core solutions or core projects to address common problems. And then let me make the very last point. The last point is that in this interconnected world, the solutions, in particular, for example, in payments and also in the exchange of currencies, interconnection is unavoidable. And therefore, we can make a far more efficient, comprehensive, chip to operate at the individual level if we work together and establish the right interconnections. And interconnections will not be possible if there is not a very close collaboration between central banks.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Agustin. And actually, just earlier today, someone said something very similar on the payment side. So thank you. I see that the second question is coming from Anouk van Drie. So Anouk, over to you.
Hi, hello. I'm Anouk van Drie from the Dutch Central Bank, and I have a question for President Lagarde. The Eurosystem Center is the only hub center with so many central banks involved, 19 plus the BIS and ECB. Why is this collaboration so important, and what factors do you think are critical to make it succeed?
But thank you so much, Anouk, for your question. Two things I would like to mention. First of all, we have been at this, meaning collaboration, working together, trying to avoid frontiers, borders, and turf discussions for the last 20 years. So while it is in the DNA of the BIS to cooperate, it's not necessarily in the DNA of each and every national central bank around the world. We in Europe, we have been working hard on that for 20 years, and I think that we have a bit of experience that we want to contribute to the entire innovation hub of the BIS around the world. Second point, what are we trying to address? We're trying to address issues that are beyond borders. Whether you look at climate change, whether you look at cyber threats, whether you look at cyber threats, whether you look at anti-money laundering issues, whether you look at countering the financing of terrorism, whether you look at cross-border payments. By nature, those issues are without borders and very much rely on technology for their solution and the response that we have to bring together. So, contributing our capacity to cooperate and our experience in doing so, to face those issues that are cross-border, adding the scope and the scale that 19 national central banks can harness, I think is going to be a great contribution to the BIS Innovation Hub. And we're pleased that the Eurosystem can do that.
I'm not sure that we can hear Benedict, just checking if the sound is
Yeah,
working.
I think we lost Benedict.
Yeah.
Okay,
We can hear you perfectly now,
apologies.
Benedict. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's go ahead.
So thank you very much, President Lagarde, for these words. Indeed, we do live in a world where all these issues tend to cross borders, and technology can indeed offer many solutions. Our next question is coming from Nuno Pereira. So Nuno, please go ahead.
Hello, so my name is Nuno Pereira from the Portuguese Central Bank, and I have a question for Governor Frankfurt and Paris. How do you think the Eurosystem should build on the existing expertise? And namely, how may central banks collaborators get involved and contribute? Thank you.
Thank you, Nuno, for your question. Perhaps I should repeat it because perhaps, if I understand correctly, is how central banks collaborators in the Eurosystem could get involved. I couldn't agree more with what Christine Lagarde just said. We in Europe have some expertise, probably the best expertise worldwide in cross-border cooperation. Sometimes people are a bit smiling about European internal discussion, but there is no better and more efficient example worldwide of cross-border cooperation. To be very practical on your question, these premises here in Paris, and I am sure Jens also in Frankfurt, are open not only to collaborators from Bundesbank, Banque de France, BIS, ECB, but to collaborators coming from all the NCBs. We have room enough. It will be possible perhaps to organize it partly in remote working, but I think that the more diversity we have in our centers, the better it will be and the more creative it will be. So, Nuno, I don't know if yourself you are interested, but NCB's staff is very welcome in Frankfurt and Paris.
Thank you very much, Governor Villeroy de Galhau. Our next question is coming from Evelina Kvedavara-Vichute. Evelina, please proceed.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Evelina Kvedavara-Vichute from the Bank of Lithuania, and I have a question for President Wyman. The Eurosystem has been on the forefront of innovation over the years with many projects. There is a lot of experience with innovation at the national central banks of the euro area. Can you give us some examples of innovation work which you consider the Eurosystem has excelled?
Thank you very much, Evelina, for your question. And let me start by saying that by pooling the knowledge of all its central banks, the Eurosystem itself has provided a means of disseminating the most innovative approaches from the outset. And I would like to point out two areas of innovation in particular. One is the field of payments and financial market infrastructures. Through our Target 2 system, and most recently through Target Instant Payment Settlement, it has always been our aim to exploit the technical possibilities to the maximum to the benefit of the users. Projects involving the tokenization of central bank digital currencies and trigger solutions to link the target services to private blockchain structures are therefore the next logical step. The second area is data management and analytics. Analyzing granular data at the firm, security, or loan level can help us to better understand the monetary transmission process or the buildup of financial stability risks. Eurosystem-wide projects such as the Register of Institutions and Affiliates database, the Security Holding Statistics database, and analytical credit data sets have thus always been a high priority for the Governing Council. We are also heavily involved developing new analytical tools, for example, new methods of machine learning.
Thank you very much, President Weidmann. And I now pass it on to Anna Kearney. Anna, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Anna Kearney from the European Central Bank, and I have a question for Augustine Carstens. What, in your view, are the key skills central bank staff should be thinking of in terms of future skills in the digital age?
Well, thank you very much, Anna. That's a fascinating question. I can talk for hours. As a matter of fact, it reminds me a speech I gave at the Bundesbank that had to do with how a future central banker would look like. And I have to say that we need to evolve with the society. We have to evolve with the times. We have to evolve with a globalized, technified, greener world. And I think that in particular in the field of innovation, I think we should, as central bankers, let our imagination flourish and undertake and entertain different ideas that would definitely enrich dramatically the type of output and insights that we can bring on the table. If, for example, you just see who the leaders in technology are, and you see their background, it is surprising that it's very difficult to sort of pinpoint. You need this type of study to achieve a position of leader in technology. There are lawyers, there are medical doctors, there are engineers, there are artists. It's a little bit of everything. And I think that we have to learn from that. Certainly, at the end of the day, the subject matter, the definition of our problems, which I think is a key part of innovation, is where you have to define very well what the problem that you want to address is and how do you go about and tackle it. I think that part is of the essence, but I think we should not shy away of bringing into the table skills that we in a central bank traditionally do not incorporate. And I'm talking about anthropologists, geographers, computer science, cryptography experts, and so on. I mean, I can tell you, for example, in one of our projects here in the Swiss Innovation Center, we have a Forex quant expert. If you ask me how to define the Forex quant, I would not tell you, to be very frank with you, but that's the way he describes himself. You know, we have a research economist, a data scientist, a programmer, and an analyst. So we bring these different skills together. Let me also say this. In the field of technology, it's easy for people to connect. And I mean, I have been in the centers. I have been seeing how they work. I have been seeing how they interact. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So I think that we should not shy away. I mean, we certainly in central banks have a bias towards economists and, well, of course, other supporting activities and professions. are very important and essential in central banking, like lawyers and so on, and market analysts and so on. But I think that we should particularly invite more variety because the problems are very significant, and I think that to add an element of novelty into our analysis would enrich the output of the innovation efforts of central banks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Agustin. And indeed, multidisciplinary teams is how we function. And you also emphasize creativity, which is indeed key. So the next question is from one of the BIS Innovation Hub staff. Henry, please go ahead.
Thank you, Benedict. So I'm Henry Holden. I work at BIS Innovation Hub in Switzerland. And my question is for President Weidmann, please. So President Weidmann, could you talk a little about the kind of projects that the Centre will be running?
Of course I can. Thank you very much, Henry, for your question. And it's, of course, all still work in progress, but I try to give you a sneak preview. The initial focus areas of work will be green finance, cybersecurity, subtech, and regtech, in plain English, technologies to improve efficiency and effectiveness of supervision and fulfilling regulatory requirements, as well as central bank digital currency and next-generation financial market infrastructures. And as regards the growing challenges presented by climate change, central banks and regulators, in my view, can play a substantial role in contributing to the development of environment and climate risk management in the financial sector. In addition to this, Henry, cybersecurity is undoubtedly a top priority for central banks and the financial sector as a whole. Threats are continuously evolving and becoming ever more sophisticated. A factor they all have in common is their potential to disrupt the financial sector, leading to losses of money, data, and also, most importantly, the public's trust in the financial system. The Eurosystem Innovation Forum has identified a multitude of project proposals which could serve as a starting point for the exchange with the BIS-IH on how to shape the work program of the Eurosystem Centre. Thank you very much, Henry.
Thank you so much, President Weidmann, for emphasizing these key topics of green finance and cybersecurity. The next question is from Valia Babis. So, Valia, please go ahead.
Hello there, my name is Valia Babis from the Bank of Greece, and I have a question for Governor President Weidmann just mentioned green finance will be one of the areas of work of the Eurosystem Centre. Could you give us some examples of the types of technology project the Eurosystem Centre will develop to help with the green finance objectives?
Thank you very much, Valia. I am obviously in full agreement with Jens and what he just said. Green finance will be a key element of financial innovation in the years to come. Let me stress that green finance cannot solve the climate crisis alone. We cannot be the only green game in town, but we will do everything which we can do and which we must do. As you know, Paris is the head of the global secretariat of the so-called NGFS, Network for Greening the Financial System. So this will be an asset, an expertise, which we will bring to the BIS Innovation Hub. But perhaps to give you, answering your questions, two possible technical examples of our contribution. First, the Eurosystem, under Christine Lagarde's sponsorship, has been pioneer in elaborating or announcing a framework for its purchases and its collateral policy, incorporating the climate risk, which we will implement by 2024. And this raises many methodological questions we can help to solve. Which brings me to the second possible technical contribution. We all know that all this valuation of climate risk raises significant questions about data. There are many data, they are of different values, they are not absolutely comparable, How can we better extract them, analyze them, and put them in the right order? Here, perhaps artificial intelligence could help. This would be, for me, one possible field of innovation by our hub.
Thank you very much, Governor Villeroy de Gallo. Indeed, data are so key for this area, and there's probably so many data that we need artificial intelligence to be of assistance. The next question is coming from Owen McDermott. Owen, please go ahead.
Thank you and good morning. My name is Owen McDermott. I'm from the Central Bank of Ireland, and my question is for President Lagarde, please. If you could travel in time to the future, which are the contributions that you would like the Eurosystem Centre to have made? Thank you.
Thank you, Eon. This is a tempting question, actually. Let me say how I picture fast forwarding into the future, how I see our contribution. I see our contribution as bringing together inventive, dedicated, enthusiastic experts from different fields, as indicated by Agustin, working together on a gigantic virtual screen or radar, if you will, on which they would collaborate on projects and initiating or identifying those innovations that will best serve the community at large, not just within the euro area, but within the world that is served by the BIS. And if you ask me, again, to fast forward, I could tell you CBDC will be in effect. I could tell you that quantum computing and artificial intelligence will be part of our day-to-day tools in order to address the big challenges that we have. But I will look at what it actually does. I think that it would also give birth to a group of unicorn, possibly, that would actually pick up some of those ideas and develop them further and give them the scale that they need. And with the profit generated by the BIS Innovation Hub, then we would be able to fuel scholarships or support for young researchers and young innovators that would continue populating this gigantic virtual radar screen on which everybody collaborates. You asked me to fast forward, I did.
Thank you very much, President Lagarde, for this very visionary outlook. And indeed, we will try to achieve that. So thank you, everybody, for your questions. And it's truly inspiring to see so much talent in the Eurosystem. And certainly, we in the BIS Innovation Hub all look forward to working with the upcoming Eurocenter system. So please, I pass it hereby back to Jill to finish this panel today.
Thank you very much, Benedict, and a special thank you to all of our participants. It really was an inspiring discussion that left us really eager to see the Eurosystem Centre in action. So it was a pleasure to be your host today, and I would also like to thank all of you today for watching, and all of you, and wish you all the best for the launch of the Eurosystem Centre. And now, to close our event today, let me hand it over to Benoit Carré, the head of the BIS Innovation Hub. Benoit, over to you.
Thank you, Jill, and thank you very much to all speakers. This has been a very inspiring and insightful discussion, which gave us a glimpse into the future of the Eurosystem Centre and even the future of central banking and the future of finance. It leaves me even more excited about the plans for the Eurosystem Centre. The Eurosystem Centre will contribute significantly to the hub's work in so many important areas, as we've heard. I have no doubt that it will meet the very high expectations all hold for it. I was truly inspired to see so many different faces today engaged in innovation across the euro area. We will build on this collective expertise for the greater good of the financial system, of the euro area, and of the entire globe. We look forward to taking this collaboration to new levels when the Eurosystem Centre opens. Thank you all for your attention, and stay tuned.